So welcome back, Will. Will was gone for a while, our famous producer, doing DECA with his high school. Everything go well with that, Will?
Yeah, it was great. California was amazing.
Did you get a chance to speak in front of hundreds or thousands of people, or what'd you do exactly?
Thankfully, no. I just did my little competition thing with my judges. I had 2 little role play things that I do with judges, testing thing I do, and I didn't advance to anything, which kind of sucks, but then also that meant I got to spend extra time at Disneyland.
Oh, nice.
So that was fun.
Did a little Disney, huh?
Yep.
Don't they have Cars Land at Disneyland?
I did not go to that.
But
I only
they
went
have
to
that,
the
right?
Yes, they do, the Radiator Springs. I really wanted to go to that, but I only had 1 day, so I stayed in the other park.
Okay. Have you been to Magic Kingdom?
In-
Well, I guess Orlando Disney World.
Yeah, I've been to Orlando Disney World twice.
How does it compare?
It's better. There's just more stuff. Or actually, I've been there 3 times.
Orlando is better.
It's huge, right? It's like
Yes.
3-4 times the size.
Yes, exactly. It's just less in Disneyland. They only have 2 parks, and each one is a little bit smaller than even the Orlando parks. Yeah, so Orlando is just better.
Yeah. I've never been to land. I've been to World.
Same
There's
here.
no reason for you to go there.
Except Radiator Springs.
True. That is legitimately the only reason why you would go there. Everything else is in Disney World. If they moved Radiator Springs to Disney World, nobody would go
They
there.
just picked it up and moved it. I'm not never was like the biggest fan. Haley gets on to me for like bah humbug and Disney all the time, but
You are a bah humbug kind of guy, aren't you? Disney?
No, I'm not.
Disney?
Disney,
Well,
yes.
crowds and everything.
crowds. It's a crowd thing.
Yeah.
However, part of it is because we were fortunate as kids. My mom's cousin was an engineer at Disney, so
Oh,
we got in free.
awesome. Yeah.
So, I mean, I didn't grow up with money. You
sure about that, Chad?
I'm 100% sure. So we went to Disney all the time. Like,
Yeah.
because it was not because I was this kid with, all these luxuries, but because we could go to Orlando and go to Disney for free. So we ended up doing that quite a few times, I feel like.
Do you feel like you were jaded because of that?
Probably. That probably has something to do with it, is that I did it so many times that it was like...
But
So,
you've taken your kids though.
yeah, we've taken our kids, and
Feel the same way about
it's,
it.
like what's it cost to take a family of 4 to Disney?
It's like $1,000 a day.
Yeah. So, and you're not going one day.
Right.
Like you can't do, no matter what you do, you can't see all you need to see in one day. So you're probably spending 2 or 3 days there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, man, $3,000. We could just let me buy you a 4-wheeler.
Yeah, right.
And you can just ride it. Like what? Can we buy a couple go-karts
I know.
instead of riding roller coasters?
Or a week at the beach, you know?
Yeah. I don't want to poo-poo Disney for people who love Disney, but
Yeah.
maybe if I could do Disney like LeBron does Disney,
What?
or like a Kardashian where you're the only person there.
Yeah, you get the behind the snes tour.
Yeah,
And the security with you at all times.
Yeah,
and,
then I might.
Yeah.
Then I might be okay with it.
Well, they the whole way they changed the fast pass setup. I don't know if you guys have been to Disney lately, but it used to be you got to choose, I believe, 2 or 3 rides as your fast pass.
Yeah, I remember it was like 3.
Yeah, and I think they've completely changed that model altogether.
Yes, it's a Genie service or something, and it's Lightning Lane. I did not.
Yeah, it's totally
understand it.
different. I don't know.
It is
I don't know it
completely
either.
different.
I'm not a Disney expert, but they've changed that whole model. I don't know if it's for the positive or negative. Maybe our viewers can tell us, right? Comment on this,
I know.
on what you think.
I always think of the fast pass thing, and like when it takes, like you have to have an expert, like somebody to tell you how to do Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not a good thing.
That's exactly how it is with the Genie thing. I had no idea. what was going on.
It's like I always thought this whole obviously it's another way to make money, right? To sell these fast passes. But I'm like, the better solution for lines is no fast pass.
Yeah.
Nobody gets a fast pass. Then it's a normal line. Instead of you got the normal folks over here, and then you got the fast pass folks skipping the line.
I
So it
know.
automatically backs this line up further.
When you got the fast pass, do you ever just like look over as you're walking by and like wave?
You're like,
We'll see you on the other side.
peons. That's how LeBron feels. Like when he goes?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, he doesn't because they shut the whole park
Well, I
down.
mean, it's fair, right? Everybody that goes gets 3 rides. Used to be that way anyways for the fast pass. So you choose the ride you want. But Disney for me, it was great when the kids were young. They have no interest in going anymore.
No.
They don't want to sit in line, all those things. But I think you're either a huge lover of Disney or you could kind of care less about it. I think.
I will say, like, seeing the, we're going to spend 10 minutes talking about Disney. Seeing through a daughter's eyes, like the princesses and stuff, that was cool. You know, like that there was some, magic there, like her getting to see all the princesses and all the characters that she sees in the movies. That was really cool. But we've done a couple of them. But my parents, for 1 year for Christmas, bought us a Disney cruise for Christmas. That was our gift.
Mm-hmm.
I would do the Disney cruise anytime over Disney.
Yeah, you said it was awesome.
Yeah, it was like for kids. Now,
Yeah.
my kids are at an age now I wouldn't do the Disney cruise. I would just take them on a regular cruise if I was going to go on a cruise. But with kids of an age that have an interest in that kind of stuff, man, it was awesome. It was a really good experience. It's kind of that, everything's clean at Disney. Everything's like they've got some things down that they're really efficient at doing.
Mm-hmm.
The boat was just an extension of that. And having a little girl that loved princesses, it was like there was no wait to go see the princess. Like the Little Mermaid's walking around the cruise ship any time of the day. So that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Well, shout out Preds. Preds game 6 tonight. We're in the hat. We'll see if we can keep it in, win game 6 for game 7. What do you think, Chad?
You have to ask me because I feel like Will. When we ask Will like a sports thing and he's like, I don't care.
Right.
It's not that I don't care. I want the Preds to do well because they're the local team.
Well, they're the local team. Yeah, we want them to do well.
I have no idea who they're playing.
Calgary or Vancouver.
So you didn't even know.
Vancouver, they're playing. But they got down 3-1. They won 2 nights ago, back to 3-2. So if they win tonight, it'll be 3-3. And then game 7 at their house at Vancouver's house.
Vancouver.
Yeah.
Or Westmoreland.
Yeah. Or Tampa Bay or
whoever they're playing.
So
I do have a question. Like, if you could pick one of our sports teams, so we've got technically, I guess you got 4 because you got the Sounds, right? They're not a, one of the big.
Don't forget about the Nashville Cats.
If one of our teams is only one team can win a championship next year, one of them's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you think is more important to the city?
Soccer,
hockey, football.
I would rather see the Preds win personally. And I only say that because Stanley Cup is so difficult to win and the Preds were first. We had the Preds a year or 2 before the Titans, right? So I'd like to see the Preds win first. Then the Titans can win one. And the new stadium, maybe.
The Preds were a new expansion team.
Yes. So they're homegrown.
Yep, they are homegrown.
Yep.
I would tell you that I think it's the Titans.
Obviously, there's a bigger following for the Titans. It's football. It's NFL versus hockey.
Yeah, not to diminish what hockey is, but in the United States of America, football is king. As much as we're baseball people,
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
you go up to Michigan,
football's king.
Those areas.
Have you seen the Detroit Lions fans?
I know they're crazy. Yes.
Yeah, Detroit people right call.
Michigan State, Michigan.
Yeah, I want y'all to to write in and inform Jason how
Hey,
important.
speaking of Michigan and Detroit, do you think their number was false or made up? 700, 800,000 fans at the Detroit,
At
the draft? Do you think they did that just to get over Nashville?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if that's true. Like,
did
who
not-
counted all 700?
Yeah, it did not
Plus 1,000.
appear to me.
It didn't look like Broadway, that's for sure.
Correct. Now, to their defense, it's a little more. Broadway seems
more
to
compact.
be compact.
Yeah.
So like less people looks like more kind of thing.
Right.
But yeah. I was curious I'm always curious about hey, who do you want? Who would you pick?
Yeah.
And I think it's got to be football.
Yeah, it does. It's got to be football, but I'd rather see the Predators win first.
I'd pick the Titans. And I'm not the biggest Titans fan, but
Yeah. It would do more for the city, yes, but I think the Predators, in my opinion, I mean, they were first here. Let's see them win one, right? Our show today, it's about what drives you as an individual, as a person, as a human being. We're talking about sports, Disney World, Disneyland a little bit. I think those are all kind of factors in a lot of people's lives and what drives them. Mm-hmm. I was just thinking about that, talking about sports and Disney World, Disneyland. And as we were talking about it, I was thinking, sports and going on your next Disney World trip, that drives a lot of people.
it does.
Motivates a lot of people to make more money or get that raise where they can afford that next trip or where they can afford those new season tickets.
Yep.
Right? Because, I mean, let's face it, if you're going to go to a sports venue or Disney World these days, it's not $20 anymore for a ticket.
No, it's not cheap.
Right?
I'll pat everybody. I'll pat Jason on the back. He and I, we go back and forth. But Morgan Wallen is he's in Nashville for 3 nights this weekend, and Jason was legit looking for tickets for us.
I was about to buy it.
He was buying us tickets, me, Jason, and Melissa, and our significant others to go to the Morgan Wallen concert. So that tells you a little bit about Baxter. I couldn't make it work because high school baseball, which is kind of bittersweet, right? We want to win and we want to keep going, but it's also one of those things that drives
you know Morgan Wallen doesn't come on till like 9:00.
I know. But so if we win tonight, we play at 10:00 tomorrow.
Okay.
If I go to Morgan Wallen, I may be throwing chairs
The game starts at 10 o'clock?
in the morning.
Oh, I was going to say.
No, not tonight. Yeah. So if we win, if we can play like we did yesterday, we will eliminate Hendersonville from the district tournament, which always makes Gallatin people happy. Anytime you can eliminate Hendersonville at anything, then we will turn right around and play at 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Okay.
So, yeah. And I didn't want to commit myself.
Yeah, I know you got a lot of stuff going on with prom and that kind of stuff too, so it's understandable.
But that was really cool. And I think it ties into what drives people. I think one of the things that drives Jason is to be able to do for others and to bring people together and create an environment. And it's not on our list. We talk about, family drives some people, money's going to drive people, their hobbies drive them. Mm-hmm. But that's one of those things that you don't talk about a lot, but it's seeing happiness in others can drive people.
Giving, yes.
Yes, giving.
Yeah.
And Jason's pretty big on trying to make sure you're a giver over a taker, or give more than you take, which is
give, take.
Yeah.
Or ask.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I thought that was cool.
Yeah. And I don't know, are we past the days where people are motivated by sporting events? I mean, maybe they still are, I guess, right? I mean, I think people live and die by that next soccer game or that next football game, right? The next hockey game.
Man, we live in SEC country
Or
college football. Like
Yeah.
I have a friend in Georgia, Stephen Blanton, buddy. This is for you. He is as diehard a Georgia Bulldog fan as they come. He wants to know every recruit by name, what kind of chicken they like, and all the above. So I don't think it's dead. Like, as much as I'm a Tennessee Vols fan, I've got, there's other stuff that motivates me a whole lot more than how the Volunteers are doing, but I think it still motivates people for sure. It's that event, or maybe it's just something to look forward to.
I think I think you're right. I think it's something to look forward to. I feel like me as a 44-year-old, sports is not as important in my life now as when I was 24.
Somebody
or
else's
18,
sports.
Right?
Your kids' sports are very important.
Very important.
Like me. Like,
Yeah.
we talk about it all the time where somebody asks you to go to a sporting event, and I'm like, is my kid playing?
Right.
If they're not,
Yeah,
I'm
but
kind of indifferent.
Does your kids playing in sports motivate you as an individual?
I don't know that it motivates me.
Does it not motivate you to perform better, get something done so you can go on that trip? Or
Are you bringing this up because I told you about Baylor like tackling me and having me twisted up? I will say it has.
You mean he body slammed you?
Pretty much. I'm glad. I don't think it's on video or people be wanting to play. I guess it has motivated me to get my butt back in the gym. Like to have a kid who's stronger than you.
There you go. Right? Your boy's going to whip that ass here soon, right? You're going to get your butt in gym.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to run an extra little bit. I'm going to have to do some more push-ups.
Wait till my son gets about 18.
Oh, he's going to whip you.
It's going to be huge.
It's going to be awesome. He also, by the way, needs to, speaking of sports, he should really play football.
They've tried to talk him into it.
He's not mean enough.
Yeah, he's a nice kid.
But I want him to be like a gangster left tackle. Like, we're going to have to like make him mad or something, because like
he can get mad. He's got a trigger like I do, but he loves baseball right now. He didn't want to do basketball again because he said, I just want to focus on baseball.
I want him to play football. This kid's going to be like 6'5", 260.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see. I think for me, I had more of an interest in football at 7th, 8th grade.
Probably.
So we'll see. He'll be in 7th grade next year. We'll see if he turns around on it. But I think, I think to your point earlier, giving and seeing others succeeding is a huge drive for me.
Yeah.
Motivation for me. But I know that's different for everybody in their life, depending on how old they are, the stage in their life. Let's talk about money, right? In general. I think for a young person, let's say Will's age, he's never maybe had a job before. He's in high school, right? Getting out of high school. I think the first thing in someone's mind that's getting out of high school or just out of college, what are they really looking for? They're probably looking for the money. I
think the money is the means to what they want, right? I don't know that the actual money motivates them as much as the material thing.
The thing they can buy with it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So like Will's talked about, the Mustang, right? And driving the Mustang at the racetrack and that sort of thing. I think a lot of times that starts that money, that want to make money.
It's a hobby.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a hobby. It's a house. It's those things. It's a vacation. It's a whatever. So you have to get this money somehow.
Yeah.
So that money becomes a byproduct of of the thing, of the tangible thing.
And I to your point, I think there are differences in people in there. I think some people think of the end thing,
Yes,
but there are a lot of people out there that think money first.
probably. And
Hoarders of money, or
it would be nice to
know?
see like what's a study, like what, there's got to be like a different personality trait. There's got to be somebody who's done
there
something.
is. There's got to be.
You know, like,
Yeah.
are you motivated by the thing and you just have to make the money to get the thing, or you just want to make the money?
I think for me as a young 20-year-old, I was thinking money first before the car, before the house. Like for me, it was, you mean if I do this or if I sell that or if I work this extra time, I can make that much more money?
Yeah.
Let's go.
You know, when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking, you know, once I get out of college or even during college, like I want a house, I want a car, I want to visit national parks. That's just something I want to do. What do I need to do all those things? Money.
So Will is that those things.
Mm-hmm.
So they require the money. So he's got his sights set on certain things, and he knows, hey, to do those things, I gotta figure out how to make some money.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah.
But Will, does the money drive you more, or the house and the other things? And the reason why I ask that is because if you're focused on the house and the trips and everything, have you put two and two together and have you said to yourself or realized, well, that means I got to make $50,000 a year to do those things, right?
Yeah, I'd say that. You know, I'd see $300 and be like, wow, that's $300. But then also thinking, you know, that's a tenth of what I need to do this.
Yeah.
I'd say that.
It takes me there. I would say that Will and I are probably similar. I don't know that I've ever been, I don't know that I've ever been motivated like by an amount of money or by like, you know, hey, I've got this much money now.
Mm-hmm.
Mine has always been, I have been similar to Will in that, okay, I would love to be able to do this for my family or be able to do this for myself,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe part of that is the target, is that there is a target.
Yeah.
That I know, hey, if I've done this or met this goal, then now I can.
Yeah.
But
so do you think there's two kinds of people then, right? One that focuses on where they want to go or what they want, and the other that focuses just on the money?
maybe, I don't know. I would say there probably has to be. I mean, it's some way the way your brain works, right? Like
Maybe there's some overlap there too.
Well, like I was thinking, there are some people that I know that around my age that like trade stocks or whatever.
Yeah.
And the thing that motivates them is just seeing that number go up of the money that they have. I think that's probably the money.
And it's I think people like that also. I mean, I may be completely off base. It's not necessarily the amount of money, right?
To them, that could be more of a game it's like a game for them where they're betting and those endorphins of betting and winning and
almost like the money's fake.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
it's like a gambling addiction almost in a way.
Sometimes it's like, maybe I think sometimes maybe people like that, don't necessarily look at the commas,
Mm-hmm.
right? And don't even look at it as real money. You know, it's just
until they're 50 grand in the hole
or 5 million ahead
or 5 million ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think money could be a big factor for driving people. And I know it's not the end all be all. And maybe, like you said, maybe there's two different types of people, the money and then the end goal that comes with it. I think there's a lot of people that are motivated by or are driven by status.
Yeah.
You know, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, however you want to look at it. But I think people in these days, in the IG, Instagram world days that we're in, they see the picture of the person they want to be or the car they want, right? Or the house.
Yeah.
Not knowing if it's real or if it's fake, right? But to them, they're driven by the status.
Or what people think about them.
What people think about them.
Yeah. I think that drives a lot of people. And unfortunately, this could be a whole other episode on its own, but just some of the social media things, people do because it's on social media, and like young people, the way they live their life or think that they need to live their life because the way it's done on social, because some 25-year-old already has these material things, maybe they feel inferior.
They might have those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might be fake.
Yeah. Right. It's that, so it's like this false sense of status.
Yeah, I agree. And I think from a status standpoint, whether you think positive or negatively on it, it's out there. And we're in an age in a world where folks are driven by influencers, and it's almost kind of scary in a way for the young people who get on social media at a young age, and they're following everybody that's pulling up in their Lambos and got the cameraman following them everywhere,
or
the rented Lambo,
yeah.
right? And they're posting 5 times a day, on Instagram about kicking butt and taking names, and this is what I'm doing. Oh, by the way, will you buy my course?
Yeah.
Click here.
Yeah, click here.
Right.
I think that's like this is another, one of my teenager terms now. Like that gives me the ick. Like those people.
Yeah. But they're in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Like if you're on social media, they are going to get in front of you somehow.
And it gives me like I think if anybody learns anything about me on this podcast is that authenticity to me is a very high priority.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see that fake out there, like that demotivates me. Like if I get a feeling that somebody is fake or like too much of that does the opposite of motivate me.
Yeah.
That like, here we go.
But there's probably a young segment of folks that
spot on
that are motivated by that, right?
Yes.
They're like, oh my God, I can have that.
Yeah.
If I just click here and follow his course.
Yeah. If I sign up.
If I sign up now, he's going to teach me the ways of the world.
Yes.
And teach me how to make $1 million next year.
Yeah.
It's, I mean that, snake oil salesman type of thing has been around for ages.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not going away anytime soon. I think it's important that we talk to our kids about that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
At a young age, right?
Yeah.
Know how to spot those things, and know how to keep that from distracting you. I think, keeping the blinders on, having your goals set and focused on what you want to do, and just cutting out all that snake oilsman, sells oilsman stuff. And
my dad always says you can't bullshit a bullshitter.
Very true.
And that always kind of like,
but not, there's 20-30% of society is gullible.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're going to get somebody.
They'll get bullshitted. Is that a word?
It is today, by God.
It is. It is for sure. But, you talk about motivation, and I think immediately money's like money or status are the ones. But you mentioned family,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say for me, that is the motivator, and there's a lot of things that go with it. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just family. Like, does your family motivate you? Well, in a bunch of different ways, it's, it makes you want to better yourself professionally so that you can help provide more and provide better experiences. I think each generation wants to be, you say successful, and what does success really mean? I don't necessarily.
Looks different for everybody.
Yeah, it looks different for everybody. But I think every generation of kids wants to be more successful than their parents, or to be comparable. You don't want to be the low life who did nothing.
I think it's cyclical.
Yeah.
Being better than the previous generation.
Yeah. I think
our generation right now, more money flowing through than ever.
More money, but are they the same? Like, I look back at some of the generations, like the Great Depression generation, and I'm like, like our group of people right now, like I think of people that graduated high school in 97 through 2001, 2002. A large majority of those people would be in a bind if we had a Great Depression. Be in a bind. Like, just look at the way people make a living today versus how people were making a living in 1922,
Right.
1925.
You're saying getting your hands dirty versus behind a computer
versus the shit we do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, can you provide some kind of other value than, it's different.
Well, society's going to AI, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's behind a computer, but everybody has processes automatically working for them.
Yeah, my mama, she would not. Yeah.
It's just changing so drastically. I mean, you see the way technology has progressed since we graduated high school. It's so crazy. So crazy. I've got a good, my thought on the family thing, that since you bring it up, is for me as a young 20-year-old,
mm-hmm.
I was a very driven young man at 20, 21, 22. And I look at young men and they either have kind of two things on their mind.
Is this going to be this kind of, Will, cover your ears. Is it going to be this kind of podcast?
I'm speaking for the men here, right?
Yeah.
We're speaking for the men.
Yeah.
Men at that age are kind of driven by, the opposite sex, let's say.
Yeah.
Or being successul, their career and those things, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the two things. And the reason why I bring this up is I listened to an interview last week and, wanted to mention this, but this was a young man on this interview that was probably 25 and he was talking about his success and business and real estate and all these things. But the striking story that he told me that stuck with me, because I went through this as a young 20-year-old, is he said, the thing that I was looking for at 21, 22 is I knew I wanted to find the right woman and get married, because I knew that would put me in the right mindset if she had my back.
Yeah.
To have my back to become successful, to have that laser focused vision that I need, where I'm not chasing down all the women and dating.
You have an actual partner.
You have an actual partner, right, to grow with.
Yeah.
And back to the family thing, right? I think that depending on the individual, but the sooner, right? Maybe the sooner you can get in with the right partner and start to build. Now, I'm not saying super soon.
Oh, okay. I was going to say like that,
Like let's get.
Well, you and I have similar paths.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
Is somebody that's our age that got married at 23 versus getting married at 35, is that 23-year-old further off now than that 35-year-old?
Man,
that waited out and partied and did other things for 10 years?
I don't know, because you and I have similar paths, right? We got married at a younger age, I tell everybody that like Haley's the best thing that ever happened to me. I'd have probably been living on a beach renting jet skis, with a.
You would.
I probably would have been. Like there's a really, really strong chance that I would have been on the coast somewhere and might not own a pair of shoes. But that was a motivator for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say that's a motivator like she keeps you in check. Well, maybe she does keep me in check, but it was a motivating factor that you have two people going into careers. You have similar goals. So under your roof is a constant motivation.
Yeah.
Then you then you have kids and
Well, you're doing it for somebody else, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it becomes
or-
more than you at that point.
or with somebody else.
With somebody. Yeah.
Because my wife and I both had, career aspirations at the same time. So you got somebody to cheer on,
Yeah.
so that can be,
But you could have that without having a partner or a wife.
You could.
You could have a
For
group
sure.
of friends that you're motivating each other, right? If you have the right friends.
You absolutely can. I think, or you could have the group of friends that takes you the other way too. I mean, my friend group has it's pretty cool that everybody has been somewhat successful, and kind of made it our own ways, but everybody's, done pretty well for themselves. So,
that's probably because all of you guys are very like-minded, I would say, right?
Probably
Similar interest, all those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you bring up a good point there. I think it's important, saying this for you too, Will, since you're here, but I think it's important to surround yourself with like-minded individuals as a young adult, right? Look at those people that are around you as a place you want to be, right? That you can learn from, mentor from, right? All those things. The old adage statement of you are who you hang around,
Yeah.
I think is somewhat true.
That's probably one of the most true things that my parents or grandparents ever said to me was, you're only as good as the company you keep. And it just continues to echo, right? You see people like you're only as good as your friend group, and you probably begin to resemble your friend group in certain ways. Like Jason said, like mindset, like not that it's a competition, but you equally want to share each other's successes, and you want to vacation together, and you want to so it's important to have that as a,
I agree wholeheartedly. Well, I think, family's extremely important. And, I think if it's locking down that partner or that wife, husband, whatever, at a younger age to get on that same page, the team, I think it can be beneficial for some, right?
Yeah, but not for my daughter. She can't get married till she's 35.
Absolutely. I'm in the same boat as you. She can get married at 28, 29, 20, 30, I would
30.
say. Yeah.
Yeah, 30 is a good number.
But yeah, don't get me off topic there. Thinking about our daughters. Squirrel, right? Yeah. I'm totally going off basis here. But I think family can be extremely important to help motivate you as an individual, right? Not saying you should get married super young, but the sooner you can find the right partner to build and grow with, I think it can help propel you in your career.
It could.
I think it very well could.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind, audience. I know another thing that's huge for people, and you may or may not think about this at an early age, depending on what your parents, grandparents instill in you. But you think of your grandparents on, maybe telling you as a young kid, let's use Chad, for example, Meredith. Come on, Meredith, make sure you uphold her name, right? Do your best, Mr. Meredith.
Man.
I mean, a little bit of legacy, right, is where I'm going there. Like upholding your legacy, your family's legacy.
Yeah.
Is that maybe some motivation for people?
Man, I think it probably is for some people. There's that old, if your family has done a certain thing, or
Yeah, because there's a lot of families that have 3-4 generations or more of military service, or they all went to the same college. They all do the same trade.
Yes.
Right?
I think for some people, that legacy or family name is very important to carry on.
It drives them.
And it drives them, or it can burden them.
Or it could.
You know? I mean, here we go. I mean, we all know I'm a race fan, like a NASCAR fan. I mean, could you imagine being Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the weight of that? with like you do the same thing and your dad was a 7-time champion and won all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And now, and then he dies in a race that you're in. And now all of that
Yeah.
is on you. His fans are now your fans. The industry basically turns around and looks at you and is like, okay, now what?
Well, that's kind of pressure, right? I mean, does the pressure drive Dale Earnhardt Jr. of upholding the Earnhardt name?
I don't know. Maybe he'll come on the podcast and tell us.
Earnhardt Jr., if you're watching,
invited.
You're totally invited, dude. Come on with us.
But you know, I think about anytime you think like family legacy, you think those names. Could you imagine being Michael Jordan's kids?
Right.
Like, and you're at the gym when you're 12 playing basketball.
Yeah, but now you're going to parenting, right? A little bit.
No, not on the parenting side.
Because you still have the parent, right?
Yeah, completely not on the parenting side. Completely on the motivating side. I could see where that could be either a big motivator for somebody to carry on that legacy, or like it could really scare people because, hey, my mom or my dad is so successful doing this. I have no chance to live up to that.
You're right. So it's either going to drive them or it's going to tear them down.
Yeah, it could. I mean, I don't have
or
the
they
solution.
could care less.
Or they could care less.
And I mean, I guess in some aspects, if you're Michael Jordan's kid, what would motivate you to go out and be hugely successful if he was going to give you $1 million a year allowance?
Or he's not. He's like Shaquille.
Or he's parenting correctly and he's not.
Like Shaq,
right?
And he's like, that's not our money. That's my money.
Right.
So figure your own way out.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, a lot of that is parenting, but I get what you're saying. I think it could drive the right individual, right?
Yeah.
Earnhardt Jr. hung around the racetrack growing up. He built the relationships. He learned how to drive. He loved driving too.
That's all he wanted to do.
Yep. So he was driven, right, to be like his dad.
Yeah. That's all he wanted to do.
Yep.
So, you ask about family. Is it, I think it does drive some people, but I think there's another part of the population who either doesn't care or it takes the other, lack of motivation.
Well, I can, speaking for myself in those terms, my family, the Baxter name does not have a huge legacy or a legacy at all.
Yeah.
From what I'm aware of. Right.
Yep.
And so when I think about, building a team, giving, I'm also thinking about trying to build a legacy for our family that can carry on past myself.
People are like, oh man, they're good people. I think that to me is maybe the most important part of the legacy as anything. Like it's not about any amount of dollar, like the biggest compliment I can ever get from somebody giving me about one of my kids is never about how smart they are or what kind of athlete or any of that. Like that stuff's like, nice. But the good stuff is whenever they're talk about the kind of people they are.
Right.
Kind, caring, compassionate, like that kind of stuff. That to me is the legacy.
Absolutely. Me personally, I want our kids to have pride in their last name, to uphold the last name, make a good life for themselves, right? And carry on the name, right?
For sure.
We're stuck with it. I'm not changing my last name.
No.
So I want it to mean something.
Although mine's hard to spell. So if I were going to do it, I would have changed it.
You would have already done it by now.
Yeah, I was going to change it to Smith or Jones or
Earnhardt.
Ooh, that one might be hard for some people.
Let's talk about career ambitions a little bit. We talked about some personal motivations with money, status, family, all those things. From a career standpoint, I know because I've held careers before, right? But that next raise or that next promotion, right? Or making your boss happy and getting the big thumbs up from them, right? I mean, that's a huge part of what drives individuals in the world today.
I think it can be. I think it goes along with what it motivates you. Is it that title because of status or whatever,
Wanting to get to the C level.
Yeah. Or
right?
is it the money that comes along with it? Or maybe it's all the above.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably a little bit
of both, maybe
a little bit maybe of a power trip there too for some folks.
it can be. I think so many people are motivated
by power.
by power.
Do you think Donald Trump's motivated by power?
We said we weren't going to talk politics.
I only say that because he's the one individual you can think of that's probably motivated by power.
I don't necessarily think he is.
You don't think he is?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, I think maybe at a point in his life he probably was. I think
today.
No, I really don't. I don't think.
But he was at one point.
I think probably.
I agree with that. I think career ambitions though could come with the power trip, the power mindset, and the C-level title or the next raise. And I think if you're working for a corporation or a company in general, right, and you come in ground floor or base level, I think most companies are set up to try to keep you moving up the ladder to keep you as an employee long term.
Yeah, it's that. Right? It's a goal thing. Yeah.
Let's not keep this person in the seat more than 2, 3, 4 years, or else he'll get complacent. He'll look to leave. We got to keep him rolling up the ranks. Keep him or her rolling up the ranks.
It's a motivation for a company to
not lose the employee, right? Yeah. So that in turn instills in the employee's mind that
they're targets.
That, hey, this is my target. I am driven to get to this next target.
For sure.
Right? And there's a place for that. I mean, there's entrepreneurs in the world that want to do their own thing, and then there's driven individuals that want to roll up the ranks in a company.
Yep.
Right? And I think when companies can clearly lay out a path, and a long-term plan, and say, hey, if you do this and get to this point by XYZ, then this next position's available for you, and here is the possible jump in salary and bonuses and whatever else, right? So I think that drives a ton of people, Chad. And that maybe more so a lot of times than money. Like, going back to the talk of money versus the end goal, right? There are a lot of people that are career driven.
Yes.
A lot.
Regardless of the money.
Yes. Regardless of the money.
I can think back to even like not just career, but like awards that I've received like throughout my career. Mm-hmm. And that stuff never motivated me. Like a plastic trophy that didn't motivate me. It was receiving that plastic trophy probably meant that I made more money.
Yeah.
That was the motivator for me.
Right.
I would always be like, I don't want the trophy.
What's the cash value of this trophy?
Yeah. Can I cash this in? Could you take the money that you spent on the trophy and just give me a gift card for lunch? Yeah.
We know how you are, Chad.
Yeah.
Forget the keepsakes. Just give me the cash.
Yeah. Straight cash only.
Hey, I think,
you want some useless information?
Absolutely.
You ready?
What you got?
Did you know that babies don't have kneecaps?
They don't have kneecaps?
Babies don't have kneecaps.
Like the structure inside their knee?
A human
under
baby
the skin?
does not have kneecaps.
Yeah.
They are developed later in life.
Is that for crawling?
I don't know why it is. I was about to say I didn't make the baby. I did. I made 2 of them. But yeah.
That's good, man.
Yeah. Babies don't have kneecaps.
I think they're, even their skull and
skull's
stuff.
not developed.
Fully developed, right?
They're pretty neat creatures.
Pretty fragile.
Pretty neat creatures.
Yeah.
And they're very rubber band like when they're young.
Oh yeah. I mean, I remember bringing my kids home and holding them for the first time, just scared, like, okay, you can have it back.
Did you drop Jalen?
No.
I lived with this for a long time, Will. I have a younger sister. She's 6 years younger than me. Mm-hmm. And like, I remember it to this day. I was told by my parents, hey, leave her alone. Don't try to pick her up out of the crib, all this kind of stuff. At like 6 or 7 years old, I tried to pick her up out of the crib and dropped her. Then I should probably be talking to my therapist about this, but I got her back in the crib literally like within the week.
Mm-hmm.
She got RSV virus and spent like the entire Christmas and New Year's in the hospital with RSV.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I did it to her.
Did you tell anybody?
No, I think my sister could tell you when I told her. I was probably 20.
Uh-huh.
When
You felt so bad though.
Oh, I felt bad. Once I was older, I figured out, hey, maybe that wasn't why she went to the hospital. But I can remember like
you were waiting till she got like 20 before you told her, right?
Yeah, I can remember being like, 6 or 7 years old, thinking, dang, I done put my sister in the hospital. You know.
Mm. What about? Do you think health and well-being drives people?
I think it drives some people.
Yeah. There's a small percentage of the population, right?
I think there's a lot of people, some people that do that for the right reasons, right? They want to be more healthy, want to live a healthier lifestyle, to create, a healthier later in life experience.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we also live in a country where a large portion of our population does not do the same thing.
Yeah.
I
agree. I think there is a good subset of people that are driven daily by health, fitness, work-life balance, right? All of those things, well-being. Maybe it's not the 20-year-old Chad, right? Because you're more driven by money or starting a family, whatever it is. But maybe it's the 65-year-old Chad that's now retired and you want to live out your golden years with
renting jet skis on the beach.
Right?
Yeah.
So hey, I got to eat right, I got to work out, I got to look good.
Yeah.
Right? So now your life, right? If I'm talking to 65-year-old Chad, now your life is about your well-being and your health.
I think we find that. I think you and I are probably examples of that. I think a lot of people find that, as they start getting closer to 40 too.
Yeah.
That, hey, you know what? I probably need to get my shit together. Probably need to eat a little better.
Yeah.
Probably need to burn a calorie or two.
It might be too late.
Nah, it's never too late.
Never too late? Okay.
It's never too late.
Okay.
Never too late.
I would say start earlier if you can, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it catches up fast when you get to 40.
For sure. I mean, I told you that, I recently got back from Cancun and the shower was mirrored on all sides. Right? This is not a joke. It was mirrored on all sides. I saw angles of myself that I haven't seen in a long time. And I come out of the shower and was like, Haley, we got to have a better communication. Like if I'm looking like loose in a cage and,
Chad's now motivated to pay for that bathroom remodel at his house.
No, we're not getting mirrored walls. No, there is no mirrored walls. I was like, golly, I thought I was in decent shape.
Yeah.
Not really.
Oh man.
Not really.
You had the up close and personal view.
Yeah. There's no 6-pack anymore. Like maybe I've had too many 6-packs.
Hey, can I tell you guys a joke? I'd love to tell you a joke.
You can always tell a joke.
All right. So Jason tells a joke. Why does Snoop Dogg always carry an umbrella? I say that because it's raining today.
I don't know.
Bold drizzle.
I did laugh at that one.
Oh, I totally surprised you guys with that one.
Yeah, you got me with that one.
What was that?
Everything Snoop Dogg says is drizzle or, it's got the izzle. Or
your teenage daughter would roll her eyes at you.
She would. She would definitely roll her eyes at me.
That was fantastic.
Oh, I thought you guys would like that one.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
All right. So today we talked about what drives you as an individual.
Yep.
Kind of what motivates you, right? A lot of different things: family, money, status, legacy, house, cars, vacations, whether it's weekends, right? You should never be motivated by weekends, but I get it if you're young.
Man,
right?
I think it's okay to be motivated. I think it's okay to be motivated by a weekend.
You think so?
Yeah, because a weekend can signify, it goes along with work-life balance,
Yeah.
So maybe the weekend holds something that someone's looking forward to.
That's true.
Whether that, Will talks about, hey, he wants to go out west and do or not necessarily out west, but all the national parks and that sort of thing. It could be, a weekend could be just as significant to somebody as that. So I think one of our keys.
To your point there, one of the things that I think of when someone lives for the weekends or that drives them, I'd say the negative side of thinking that. I think that if they're thinking that way, maybe they don't like their 9 to 5 Monday through Friday.
Yeah, you could be right for sure. I mean, some people are motivated by 5 o'clock.
That's true.
Or motivated by 3 o'clock or whatever.
Yeah.
But I will also, I guess the other side of that is that I think whatever motivates somebody can be positive. Like if it's the right thing, whether it might be 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock or your get off work time. If that motivation is right, if the heart's right, the mind's right, it's not necessarily a bad motivator. Why are we motivated that? What do we get to do? Does the weekend mean that you get to go hang out with your kids on the lake or at their events, or you get to see friends that you don't see, Monday through Friday? Or
I think what's important here and what we talked about is, if you don't have anything that motivates you or drives you today, find it.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely, 100%.
Find out what drives you, and that's both from an individual standpoint, and if you're an employer or a boss, director, leader, CEO, find out what makes your employees tick.
Yeah.
Right? Find out what drives them deep down, learn your people, right?
Yep.
And manage and lead them individually based on what drives them.
100% agree.
Right?
Yeah, the more you know each employee or find out what motivates your kids.
Yes.
Find out what motivates your people around you. The more you know that, the better off any relationship would be, I would say.
100%. To the podium time.
Yeah.
You ready to go to the podium, Chad?
Yeah, I'm always ready for the podium.
All right. So thank you guys for listening in on what drives you. We're going to go to the podium now, and we're going to talk about our top 3 favorite vacation spots.
Yeah.
Right?
Do we have to give out?
It's summertime, right? We're getting into the vacation season. So do we have to give out what?
Exact. I thought about, we talked about this, and I'm like, do we have to give out exact locations or coordinates? Because maybe we don't want that place crowded.
That's very true. Just don't say your favorite house you stay in or or the part of the beach.
Yeah. If anybody out there has looked at vacation rental cost.
You know what I thought? Yeah. You know what I thought about that when you said that? You remember, we started vacationing on 30A years ago. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden you started seeing these 30A stickers.
30A sticker on her back windshield.
I was like, get that damn 30A sticker off of it. Stop telling everybody.
Yeah.
Like, stop buying. And I'm like, okay, maybe they actually own property on 30A. That's why they have the sticker.
Probably not.
Probably not. So I feel your pain there.
It's a 21-year-old girl in a Bama Red 4Runner.
Yeah. It's like a Salt Life sticker.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And you live on Old Hickory.
Exactly.
That's not salt water.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. So, in the essence of summer and vacations, I hope everybody is able to take a vacation this summer that's listening and
unplug.
I look forward to hearing your favorite vacation spots in the comments. Please let us know what they are.
Yeah. Conversate
with us. Chad, what's your number 3?
Mine are all going to kind of run into each other. I wouldn't call it a vacation spot. I'm going to call it it would be hard for me to say, give this list without mentioning waterfowl hunting and things that I do there in the wintertime. And I'm not going to say just one spot. I mean, we have a place in Arkansas, but I would tell you any place that I get to go and enjoy that will become a favorite vacation spot. We were fortunate enough to go to Massachusetts couple years ago. I'm going to go to San Francisco and hunt this winter. I would say number 3 for me is anytime I get to go do that and get to experience a new place. That
doesn't matter where it's at, just any new place. Seeing it for the first time.
Not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily mean a new or that particular place. This is a really long podium answer, but I would tell you it's more about the people and the experience than it is the place.
Yeah, I get that. It's
now,
fellowship and
for sure,
and guys and
yeah, for sure. Now we have a place in Northeast Arkansas that a group of friends and I own, and that place I don't necessarily consider it a vacation spot because it's become more like a second home, you know, and as much fun as we have hunting out there, it's so much less about the hunting as it is the friendships and getting to experience it with our kids and everything that goes along with it. So for me, waterfowl, anything that I get to do there, that's my third vacation spot.
That's a good one, man.
Yeah.
That's maybe not one you do with the whole family all the time, right? But maybe the wife comes and no.
Haley, will you comment on going to duck camp?
Well, I know she won't go to duck camp, but if you go to like Massachusetts,
you absolutely hit it.
she would go, right?
Yeah,
and then you
absolutely
guys go off for the day kind of thing.
Yeah. The group of wives that went with us to Massachusetts, I think every one of them would say that it's one of their favorite vacations.
Yeah.
And
because they do their thing, you do your thing.
Yeah, and part
and
of
then
that
you come
group
together
is,
for dinner.
Yeah,
whatever, right?
for sure. Part of that group is going to San Francisco with us this winter and going to kind of relive that a little bit. And looking forward to it because
that's awesome.
It's part of it's about the people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the duck hunting is just
the people is what makes a vacation
for sure.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. I'm going to say my number 3 right now. Is probably going to be in general, just because I've done one of these twice in the last year and a half, would be probably a cruise.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put it at the top because it's not going to be my top choice. But if the wife says, hey, I'm going to plan a cruise for us next spring break and we're going to go to the Eastern Caribbean and it's going to be on the new Icon Royal Caribbean.
Yep.
And we're going to have a balcony room and you don't have to worry about anything. We're just going to go here.
Yep.
I'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have a good time, right? They have great shows. They have great food. There's always something to do.
Yes.
Right? I might come home with COVID when it's all over.
Again.
But, while I'm there, I'm going to have a good time.
Yeah. I really like that answer. I think you and I are similar. I think there's cruise people and then there's not cruise people.
Right.
I think I would prefer going to the destination, like one spot and staying.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, a cruise is a pretty fun vacation. Like, especially if there's back to that, it depends on the group kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a good number 3.
Yeah. Kids love it. Kids have a great time.
Yeah. It's easy.
You just show up at the dining room for dinner at 5:00 and you have a 3-4 course meal. I mean, if you haven't been on a cruise, it's solid. Don't let these scary cruise ship rocking in the waves things deter you, or COVID, even though you might end up with COVID. But no, if you haven't been on a cruise, go.
Yep.
You're either going to love it or you're probably not going to like it. You just don't know which one of those you're going to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Will, you want to get in this?
I have a number 1 that I wanted to add, so I don't know if I should wait to the end.
We'll get you in the end, Will.
Yeah. Will's got number 1.
Plate.
Okay. Will's podium is one spot. He said second and third are the first and second loser.
Hey, Will's a young guy. Maybe he hasn't experienced enough to have a second or third, right? That comes maybe with,
or he just has older. One that is so much higher than the others.
Yeah, it's definitely. I go on a lot of vacations and stuff. My family likes to travel, so I definitely have a bunch of other places. But there's one that I really, really liked that I wanted to share. So I'll do.
Now I'm ready for Will's number 1. What's your second, Jason?
You want me to go number 2 now?
Yeah.
Okay. So number 2 for me is I love being outdoors, wilderness, by rivers, creeks, streams, lakes. I like to hike. I like to kayak. I like to fish with my son. All those kind of things. So to me, and I like to. Well, that kind of goes with the saying, but I like to do those things with my family, and I like to meet other people while doing those things. Right. So number 2 for me is going to be camping or RVing in a national park or an RV campsite that's in the middle of nowhere or in the mountains, right?
Yeah.
And that to me, when I'm able to get away and do those things with my family and just see nature at its core, I always feel more energized and one with nature when I do those things.
Yeah.
And it that's a favorite for me, all because of those things, and I get really good one-on-one time with my family.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
Number 2 is camping, RVing for me.
I would say if I were to give my number 2, and I guess I am giving my number 2, but that would be it. I love doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. I grew up camping a lot, being from East Tennessee. We went to, that was kind of a lot of our vacationing was going to Elkmont in the Smokies and some of those things. I always enjoyed that.
And I didn't say a spot, but one of my favorite spots is Fall Creek Falls. For anyone that hasn't visited Fall Creek Falls, beautiful.
Yeah.
Great hiking, great waterfalls, a lot of stuff to do. Their store they have there is awesome. It's a great campground for the kids too.
Yeah, I would say that the Tennessee state parks are really good state parks. I think our state parks department is, they're doing a good job.
They're on it.
Yeah.
Great Smoky Mountains National Park is fantastic too.
Yeah, and then that's the big tourist one, but I think there's you mentioned Fall Creek Falls, all the stuff around the Smoky Mountains, like Big South Fork is another one, like towards East Tennessee. Man, there's some really great state parks. So
what's your number 2, Chad?
Man, my number 2, this is going to be very broad, but I would tell you anywhere on that Florida Gulf Coast from around Pensacola.
Don't give an exact
I'm not
street or
no
or place.
No, I would say that part of the country is a part of the country from, kind of from Pensacola, the Florida Panhandle, right? From Pensacola to the.
Does that go all the way down to Tampa Bay area, or is it just the?
Man, I don't want to include that because that's not
the same
necessarily a drive.
Yeah,
for us,
you're right.
But for a drive, everything in Central Time, right? From maybe one's in Eastern Time, but pretty much that is my number 2. Anywhere in there, I would go down there once a quarter if I could. I think that ideally that's what Haley and I want to do.
That's a good one.
Point, is be down there. No specific GPS coordinates are going to be given, but
if you were born and raised in this area, you've been down to
you've driven I-65 you've left your house at 4:30 on a Saturday morning.
Yes.
And gotten traffic in Birmingham.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And stopped at the Durban Farms.
Yeah. Now we have Buc-ee's to stop at on the way down.
That's right. Yeah. We do.
It's like the Sumner County, Williamson County convoy.
Yep.
Down there. Yeah.
Good number 2, Chad.
Yep.
All right. So we're moving on to number 1.
Our number 1's. I think Will should give his number 1 first since he.
Okay. Will, let's hear your number 1, man.
Sure. So, a year or 2 ago, I went skiing outside of Salt Lake City, and I guess this kind of breaks the rules, but at a specific place.
Yeah.
Called Brighton, which is a ski resort. It's near Park City and stuff.
Okay.
But it was really nice because it's less of a resort, more of a ski. Like it's ski resort. And we did so much skiing. We stayed. I'm totally giving away what we did.
Will's like, hey, here's the place. They're a sponsor.
Yeah. We stayed in the lodge there.
Okay.
And it was a couple rooms there, like dorm room style. They had a little breakfast that was like, little cereal thingies that you just put milk in. Really easy breakfast. That's nice. And then you can literally just walk out and ski. You walk out of your little door,
Okay.
go down, and there's a ski rack. You put your skis on, ski down to the chairlift, and ski for 13 hours. Come back.
That's awesome.
And that
And
was in
sleep.
Utah.
It was Utah, so it was, huge mountains where you go up on the ski lift. It takes, 10, 15 minutes to get up, and then just ski down, constantly skiing for like, 20, 40 minutes all the way down. It's just so much fun. We did that for President's Day weekend, and I would do that every year if I could. It was so much fun.
See, I feel like that would be in my top 3 if I could get my wife to enjoy snow.
No, Stephanie doesn't like.
She does not want to. I've always been like, hey, let's go skiing this winter. What do you think? Or spring break with the kids. No, I'd rather be someplace warm.
Can we go to the Caribbean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I enjoy that kind of stuff. And I have a brother that lives in Denver, and it's not out of the blue for him to go up, to the mountain and go skiing. It's just a traffic situation. But yeah, I would, if I had a group of people that wanted to go skiing with me, I would go. And the wife could just stay at home. She'd be fine with me going.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Yeah. So that's a good one, man. I like that one.
Yeah.
I'll go number 1 next.
Yeah.
So for me, number 1, I've been to a lot of places. I haven't been everywhere, right? But, I didn't put Hawaii on the list and some Caribbean islands, even though I really like those areas, enjoyed it. To me, it goes back to experiences and being around people that I love and enjoy being around, right? And so to your number 2 is my number 1.
Yeah.
So the Florida Panhandle,
Yeah.
Alabama area, the Gulf Coast there, and I could say that's anywhere from Sarasota area up to Pensacola, right? Or Orange Beach, Alabama, that area. It's easy to get to. It's a half a day drive, 8 hours, 9 hour drive. But typically when you go on those kind of trips, you're going with others that you love, family, friends, and you're going to have great food. The spots.
Yeah.
The beaches are going to be great. And, you create experiences and memories.
Yes.
And to me, vacations are about memories.
100% agree.
Right. And some of my best memories are just going down to the beach.
Yep.
And that's the closest and best beach to where we live.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So that's number 1 for me.
Yeah. I'm cheating on my number 1 because I was pretty vague but specific with Florida Panhandle.
Oh, you got 2 in the same vicinity.
Yeah, I do. Number 1 to me it's about experiences. And is it the one that I pick over others today? No. But because it's for sentimental reasons, I would tell you that Gulf Shores, Alabama, Orange Beach, Alabama is my number 1. Because now I'm going to probably at this
You tricked me with number 2.
I did.
Yeah, because that's kind of the same almost.
It's the same, but it's not. It's a different state.
Yeah. So that's a spot for you. I got you.
Yeah. So, and part of it is about experiences. Like Haley and I got engaged in Gulf Shores. So and that was a long time ago. So I can, it's so funny. Like when we go there now we get to go every spring break. The high school baseball team does a thing down there. So it's like, it's probably not our pick for our fall beach trip, but it's still like when we pull into Gulf Shores, it's almost like pulling into your old hometown or something.
Yeah.
Now
it's your second home almost,
it
right?
Kind of
home
is.
away from home.
It's weirdly become, part of us, I guess. Like, so that spot to me, it'll be hard to beat that one, even though it's changed so much over the years. It's not necessarily like the one that I picked just because it's so crowded now compared to what it used to be. And it's not Gulf Shores, I think, used to be a secret. People would be like, Alabama's got a beach. And but for us,
well,
that one's
so many more people. Vacation prices have made
Yeah.
people look further, wider
Yeah.
out. So
Yeah, to me now today, like honest opinion, it's just an extension of Destin.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like Destin has just completely moved west, and it's like one big Destin now.
we could have another show over the best beaches. That could be another
yeah,
one.
yeah.
But
Can I have an honorable mention?
sure, what you got?
Napa, California,
Okay.
and it's not like I'm not a big wine connoisseur at all, but that it shocked me how cool Napa was.
I can see that.
Yeah, I was shocked at. I've been to San Francisco a number of times, and I could take it or leave it, but Napa to me was really cool. Just everything that it had to offer. It was
It's pristine, right?
it's a farm town.
Yeah.
It's a farm town. They're just so happened to farm grapes instead of corn or
Yeah.
soybeans or whatever. So that was a really cool vacation spot, and part of that was experiences hanging out with family and stuff like that too. So, yeah,
That's awesome. Speaking of grapes, I was surprised when I was in Ohio, New York, Pennsylvania last weekend. There's so many wine farms there.
really
I had no idea.
didn't know that.
They were everywhere.
Learn something new every day.
Absolutely.
Like Massachusetts is like cranberries everywhere. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what state makes the most cranberries? I suppose this would be good useless information, but
Oh, we got useless information number 2 now.
It's got to be somewhere.
Cranberries?
Washington
I'm gonna
State.
say Wisconsin.
No.
yep,
Is it really?
Wisconsin.
Okay.
Oh, I knew that. Why did I know that?
I was
heard that somewhere.
thinking who had a lot of bodies of water is why I thought that.
Yep.
Hey, I'm a smart guy after all. Maybe. Well, that concludes our show today, guys. Thank you everybody
Yeah.
for hanging out, watching us, and listening. Like, follow us right on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, the TikToks, the X's of the world, right?
Whatever.
We're everywhere. So we look forward to you guys subscribing. Please comment right on our show today. Let us know your favorite vacation spot and what drives you guys as individuals.
Yeah. Give us something you want us to talk about too.
Absolutely. Let us know what you'd like to see on future episodes. So, till next time.
Thanks.